What if everything you thought you knew about life, death, and the afterlife was completely turned upside down? That's exactly what happened to an elderly woman who passed away but returned with a shocking message from Jesus himself. This is a story of mystery, spiritual awakening, and a profound revelation that will make you question the very nature of existence. Keep watching, because what she brought back will leave you speechless. It all started when Mary, a 78-year-old woman, suddenly collapsed at home. Her family rushed to the hospital, but despite the best efforts of the medical team, she was declared dead. For over an hour, Mary's heart had stopped, and her body showed no signs of life. Her family was devastated, but what they didn't know was that this would be far from the end of her story. In the moments after she passed, Mary found herself in an entirely different place. It was a place filled with brilliant light, a calm, peaceful atmosphere that she couldn't quite comprehend. She wasn't sure where she was, but she knew she wasn't in her body anymore. It was as if the physical world had faded away, leaving only the presence of something far more significant. Suddenly, a figure appeared before her. It was a man dressed in white, radiating love and power like nothing she had ever felt before. Mary didn't know it at first, but this was Jesus, and he was about to change her life in ways she never imagined. As soon as Mary saw him, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace, unlike anything she had ever experienced. The fear and pain she had known throughout her life seemed to dissolve. She was in the presence of something truly divine. His eyes, full of compassion, looked into hers, and without saying a word, she instantly knew who he was. She felt an immediate connection with him, like she had known him her whole life. Then, with a gentle but firm voice, he spoke to her, telling her that her time was not yet over. She had to return, but he had a message for her to carry back, a message that would shake the foundations of everything she knew about life, death, and the purpose of existence. He told her that the world had become too focused on material things, and many had forgotten what truly matters: love, faith, and kindness. Jesus explained that he had come to bring peace and hope to the world, and that those who believed in him would be shown a new way of living, a way that would heal the brokenness and restore people to their true purpose. Before Mary was sent back to her body, Jesus told her a powerful message. He spoke of a future where people would stop focusing on the superficial and start prioritizing their spiritual growth. He warned of the darkness that was creeping into the world, a time when humanity's distractions would take them away from the truth of their existence. Jesus told her that many people were living lives of fear, greed, and hatred, but that it wasn't too late to change. He urged her to spread the word that love and compassion could heal the world, and that people had the power to transform their lives by living with faith, humility, and forgiveness. He made it clear that it wasn't about material wealth or achievements. It was about the way you treat others and the love you share. Jesus emphasized that his message was not about religion in the conventional sense. It was about a relationship with the divine, a connection with God through love, kindness, and genuine care for one another. Mary woke up in the hospital room gasping for breath. Her family was by her side, shocked and relieved to see her alive. It took her a moment to process what had just happened. The doctors were baffled. Her heart had stopped, and she was clinically dead for over an hour. Yet here she was, alive and well. But it wasn't just her physical body that had been restored. It was her entire perspective on life. Mary knew she had been sent back for a reason, and she was filled with an overwhelming sense of purpose. She couldn't keep the message to herself. She knew she had to tell the world what she had experienced and what Jesus had revealed to her. The nurses and doctors were amazed at her recovery, but none could understand what had truly happened. They were skeptical, but Mary's family knew something profound had taken place. She had returned from death with a clarity and sense of peace that could only come from a divine encounter. In the weeks following her return, Mary began to share her experience with others. She spoke to her family, friends, and even strangers about the message she had received from Jesus. At first, people were skeptical, dismissing her story as a mere dream or hallucination. But as Mary continued to speak with passion and conviction, many began to listen, and a few even had their own spiritual awakenings. She spoke of the importance of faith and love, urging people to focus on what truly mattered in life: relationships, kindness, and the pursuit of a deeper connection with the divine. As she shared her story, she noticed that people's hearts softened. They began to reconsider their priorities, and many found new strength in their own spiritual journeys. But the impact didn't stop there. Word of Mary's miraculous return spread, and soon others were coming to her, seeking guidance and comfort. She didn't have all the answers, but she had something much more valuable: the message of hope and transformation that Jesus had entrusted to her. While Mary's life had been radically changed by her experience, the road ahead wasn't always easy. Many people still doubted her story, and some even ridiculed her. It was difficult for her to understand why others couldn't see what she had seen, feel what she had felt. There were times when Mary questioned her own experience. Could it have been just a dream? But the message she received from Jesus was too clear, too profound to ignore. It wasn't just about her, it was about the world, and she couldn't give up on that mission. Despite the struggles, Mary remained firm in her resolve. She continued to spread the word, and slowly but surely, the seeds of change began to grow. People started to reconsider their priorities, seeking out deeper spiritual connections and working to bring more kindness and compassion into their lives. As time passed, Mary's life began to take on new meaning. She no longer focused on the trivial matters of everyday life. She spent her days helping others, volunteering, and sharing the wisdom she had gained. People came to her for advice, and she spoke with such conviction and love that it touched their hearts. Mary didn't consider herself special. She was simply a messenger, sharing what she had been told. But to the people who heard her, she was a beacon of light. Her words brought comfort to the suffering and hope to those who felt lost. Her own personal transformation was undeniable. She felt more at peace with herself and the world around her. It was as if the encounter with Jesus had unlocked a deeper understanding of life, and she was now living with a sense of purpose that she had never known before. Mary's story was a wake-up call for many. It reminded people of the importance of spiritual connection, love, and compassion in a world that often seemed consumed by negativity and fear. Her story was a beacon of hope. It showed people that there was more to life than the material world they were chasing. Her message was simple. It's not about what you have, but who you are. It's not about what you accomplish, but how you treat others along the way. People began to look at their own lives, reflecting on their choices and values. Many made changes, reconnecting with their faith and striving to be kinder to those around them. Mary's story wasn't just about one woman, it was about all of us. It was about the power of faith and the potential for transformation that lies within each of us. Despite the powerful message she was sharing, Mary still faced skepticism. Many people questioned her story, dismissing it as a figment of her imagination or a result of her grief. Some even accused her of seeking attention or fame. Mary didn't let these doubts affect her. She knew what she had experienced, and she was determined to share the truth, no matter how difficult it was. She realized that not everyone would understand, but that didn't matter. Her mission wasn't to convince the doubters. It was to share the love and message she had been given. She continued to live her life with love and kindness, and over time, more and more people came to believe her story. They saw the transformation in her life and the sincerity in her heart, and they couldn't ignore the truth that was shining through her. As time went on, Mary's message began to spread further. People from all over the world were inspired by her story. They sought her out for guidance, looking for answers to their own spiritual questions. Mary didn't have all the answers, but she offered what she knew, the power of love, faith, and compassion. Her story became a symbol of hope, reminding people that no matter how lost or hopeless they may feel, there is always the potential for transformation. Mary's life was proof of that, and through it all, she continued to live with humility and grace, sharing the message she had received with anyone who would listen. The most profound lesson that Mary learned from her experience was that life is about more than just existing. It's about making a difference in the lives of others, loving without conditions, and living with purpose. Her encounter with Jesus taught her that we all have a role to play in this world, and that the love we give can change lives. She knew that death wasn't the end, it was just a transition, and that message, more than anything, was what she wanted people to understand. We are all connected, and we all have the ability to create change in the world. Mary's life was never the same after her experience. She returned from death with a message that changed everything. Her story is a reminder that the power of love, faith, and compassion can transform the world. And no matter what challenges you face, there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. If Mary's story has touched you, consider sharing this video with others. Like and subscribe to stay connected with more uplifting and life-changing stories like this one.